this computer. Okay, so we're all recording. So welcome. I'd like to say ladies and gentlemen, but it seems to be only ladies this evening. But I'm sure the gentlemen will join us on the video recording later on. I know Shane has been a little bit delayed. I think he is on superhero training this evening, but he's going to join us later on. I know Mike is tied up with kids and all that sort of stuff. So it is our normal Monday evening talk shop. This is me to first off give you a little bit of an update, throw a few topics out there. So what I'll do is I'll run through a couple of points that I'd just like to get across, and then if there's anything you want to say or comment on each of those, then just jump in whenever you feel good. So a little bit of an update on Bizmerang. Although we're not trying very hard to recruit very much at the moment through the circle leaders, there's quite a few more people coming on just through organic growth, which is great. And I am more than happy with where we are at the moment. So on to a bit more of the detail, really. First thing that I just wanted to run past, I think I might have mentioned this on Thursday, was us changing circle leaders' titles from circle leaders to circle hosts. There's a number of reasons why we think we're going to do this. In fact, we are going to do this, is because the first one is that myself and Shane have now got into the software in a bit more detail and understand that actually we can create circle hosts specifically rather than, at the moment, I think all of you are moderators on the entire network. At some point, we're going to change all that and just make you full hosts, but specifically on your circles themselves. Somebody else has just joined us. That's probably Shane just joining us now. Is it Shane? Yeah, he'll say yes in a minute. So has anybody got any objections to that or think it's not a good idea? Oh, sorry. The other reason is that also the default naming on the software is hosts. And there's an awful lot of really good stuff coming out of Mighty Networks that I'd like to share, and I'd like to share it without having to change the words hosts to leaders all the way through. So it just works all the way through. And finally, the word hosts is probably more descriptive of what we'd like our hosts stroke leaders to do. So rather than, as I've talked to you before about having this sort of pyramid section or pyramid structure to your circles, but in fact it's more about engendering and promoting a lot of cross-pollination within your circles and then outside of circles as well. So you guys hosting rather than being the center point of the whole circle that is built around you. Does anybody have anything they want to chuck in about that? No? Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Glad you're all with us. Second thing, and I was going to ask Eve to bring up a couple of points you brought up and a couple of messages to me today, but you said you didn't want to, Eve, so I'll do it for you.
No,
okay, but thanks to
Eve for off the email. That was 6 o'clock this morning. I don't even remember what I asked.
Oh dear. Okay, the first one that you covered off or you asked about was why would people want to create a circle in Bizmerang rather than just their own Mighty Network? I think actually I've talked about this before, but there's absolutely no reason why people shouldn't go and create their own Mighty Network. If you want to, yeah, please crack on. But one of the things, I don't know if you all had a chance to see the posts. I did too many posts today, but one of the posts I shared today was from a girl an author who is moving from Medium, is it?
Medium and Facebook.
Yeah, and one of the things that she was saying was that, yes, that's right, she's moving from Medium and from Facebook. One of the things that she was saying, although she had quite a large following, she wasn't entirely sure that everybody was going to follow her across. I'm sure they will with following like that, particularly with the training that Mighty Networks will give her. But that's the first thing, is that all our circle hosts at this point are starting almost from scratch. And one of the big attractions of working within Bizmerang rather than Mighty Networks is that we have lots and lots of little circles. And so your members' main feed will have content from the circle that you've invited them into, but also from all the other circles that they have joined as well. As a consequence, it means that the content, the quantity of content that you guys bring in, or that your members get to see, it doesn't just rely on your hard efforts. So that in fact, actually, it's not just your circle that they're coming for. Is that and what it does is it hopefully removes some of the burden of that worry of trying to provide really good content for everybody. So back to our original principle was that everybody has multiple business networking needs, and just to remind ourselves, and I'm going to do this more often, is that we are here about business networking. Okay, so the example that we always give is Shane, for example, is a solicitor who is in Dungannon, but he might also want to be part of a national network of solicitors. He might also want to be a member of a network of solicitors or circle of solicitors that specifically engage in conveyancing, for example. So as a consequence, that if every each one of those
I think you're cutting off a wee bit there. For me, anyway.
Shane, you're a bit broken up there, mate.
Yeah, it feels like bandwidth.
Yeah, it's just super training. It needs a bit of work, superhero training. But anyway, so when he's come back to us, I'm sure he was about to go into a bit more detail on that. But the point being,
we did this to him on purpose.
I think so. We've lost you, guy.
Oh,
we're back.
Hey. I don't know what it is, Shane. Every time you come and join us, either the ceiling comes in or, well, I have no idea. So we still got Eve, have we?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to get rid of me
Johnny,
that quick.
Oh, hi, Johnny. Okay. So
hi, everyone.
Hi. So the point that we were making was that everybody in the business networking has multiple networking needs, and they're different for every one of them. So if each circle had its own mighty network, then you'd have to come out of the user or the member would have an app for each one, and they would have to come out of one and into another, and out of that one and into the next one, and out of that one and into the next one. So that's the primary aim. But of course, it is then also incumbent on Bizmerang to ensure that the quality of the circle leaders and the quality of the circles and their hosts are as good as possible, so that the quality of one or the lack of quality in one is not to the detriment of the experience of everybody else. So I hope that answers that question. Anybody got any other points on that one? No? Okay. All right. So moderator status was another one. Eve, yes, everybody at the moment who is a circle leader or / circle host has moderator status across the entire network. That will change over the next couple of days once I get through it. And everybody will be a host and have full host privileges, but within their circle. When you have full host privileges, you can then appoint your own moderators and your own hosts and do all that sort of stuff. One thing I would ask is that we're going to create an admin. At the moment, it's I have a couple of profiles on this as one, well, two, Guy and Guyetta, but we're going to create an admin one and just ask you to join each of those circles, to accept that admin into each of your circles. It's purely it was pointed out to me on the on the data protection and looking at what's going on Facebook and how people get very hacked off about the quality that's going on there, and it's really just to protect the directors that in fact actually if needs be we can come in and have a look at the content that's going on in the circle. Eve, this is where I'm going to ask you to just give us a little bit of. You asked something about what is appropriate as for wider content distribution. Can you just explain what you were just tell me a bit more what you were talking about there?
So I had sent off the article from the woman who was leaving Medium and Facebook.
Yeah.
And I think what I was concerned about is in our early days, reference, the continual reference to Mighty Networks. It feels like we're promoting somebody else's brand. And yes, I get that we're trying to get across who we are and how we do what we do. But I was just trying to go for balance there. And did we want to do that?
Well, as I say, I don't know how Shane feels about this, but I have no problem talking about the existence of Mighty Networks. We get a lot of experience from them, and there's some really good stuff that is shared by them, including the did I share the one today from Gina Bianchini, the founder of Mighty Networks?
LinkedIn,
the LinkedIn thing.
Yeah.
Again, really, really useful stuff. Now, Bizmerang will move on to its own platform sometime either Q4 this year or Q1 next year, where it is all branded Bizmerang. It'll have all the functionality that it has at the moment, because it will be built on a Mighty Networks platform. It'll be on a Mighty Network Pro thing. Shane, have you anything you want to add into that?
No, I think I understand where you're coming from, Eve. If what you were saying is, if we keep going on about Mighty Networks, will people just say, well, why don't I just go start my own Mighty Network and join Bizmerang? And there is a bit of a balance there between going on about Mighty Networks and talking about the brand of Bizmerang. But I think it's fine to share resources, relevant resources from the Mighty Networks platform, as long as we make it clear that this is Bizmerang. Yes, we're on the Mighty Networks platform now, but this is the Bizmerang brand.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Thanks for that.
Okay, I think
No, I'm here. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Oh, my connection is falling out.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me again? I'm back. No.
Okay. Well, we'll start thoughts, feedback. I'm going to put this other guy maybe back again. No, he's back.
Am I back? Yes. No. No. Yes. Yes. No. No. Yes. Hey.
He's maybe gone.
I'm back.
Anyway, sorry, Karen. Go ahead. Oh, there he is. He's left us.
So in the little circle I set up, the word is microbiome. I have the setting set to receive notifications, because I would like to receive notifications, but it's not working. As in, I'm not getting notified that, for instance, Johnny, you commented on that circle just like 10 minutes ago or something, and so a notification didn't come up for that, and a notification didn't come up for Alison and Eve, your kind comments.
Oh, there he's back.
There you go. Okay. I've turned off my broadband, and I'm now doing this through a hotspot on my phone. Okay. Can everybody hear me?
You're here. Yep, you're there.
Sorry, Karen. Could you just say, you were saying about your microbiome, about notifications?
Yes. I think Shane may have answered my question there, or sent me in the right direction. I have within my circle, I have received notifications on, but I'm not receiving notifications.
Is anybody actually posting or content on it? Or?
Yeah. A few people, just put a few tiny comments on there, and I haven't got any notification. But Shane suggested I go into my general settings and check that.
That sounds like a good plan. Good place to start.
Good plan.
I had a question, Guy. You commented on something or responded to something this morning, but you didn't appear. You know how the little face comes up to indicate who's online? Yeah. But at the time you were commenting, you didn't appear online. Is that a setting or just luck?
So I think that's my crap broadband connection. That in fact I made the comment and then it took me offline and all that sort of stuff. Okay. I would suspect that when it drops out, that Mighty Networks record the app on your phone or your hard drive or your desktop or whatever you're doing records that that has been done, and then as soon as it has connectivity again, it posts it up. So it may well have posted it up after I had dropped out.
Because I wondered if there was any advantage to being able to hide your presence as currently being there. Like if you don't want to have a whole lot of interactions with people, if you want to set a definite time when you have hours and you're going to be there, is there a way to not appear on that?
Again, trying the personal settings, but I'm not entirely sure. I mean, my advice would be just close the app. Unless you have a whole load of notifications which comes and tells you every time there's something there. It's slightly different for me than perhaps because I just sort of trying to keep up to date with everybody. But I think our general idea was that in fact you guys would come on for amount of time and a couple of times a day, rather than being online the whole time. So I mean, I certainly don't expect to see you there all the time. We all have other things to do, and that. Okay, if you want to get into, but because I'm sort of trying to get the Circle Leader Circle moving on to the next stage, I have the app generally open anyway, so I'll usually be there unless I'm in another meeting or something like that. But I don't expect you guys wanting to or have to unless you feel the need to get your content or to be working very hard on that particular content. And one thing I'm conscious of is as I said today, I probably did too much posting today. But there was a lot of really good stuff knocking about today, but there's some more that I should have saved some of it for later on in the week, because I don't want to fill people's news feeds with just me. Yeah. If that. Okay. And Eve, just sorry, I'm going to ask you about this one as well. Brand advocates, Eve, what were you worried about on that one?
Just so that we were all on the same page, that we had a cheat sheet that said, and this is why Bizmerang, and this is, we've been talking about it now. Mighty Networks is the platform, but I think being able to speak articulately about, what the vision was, how we're executing, and where we're going is just, having a consistent message.
Okay, that actually leads me very nicely onto my next point. Which is, I'm not going to ask you to show hands. I'm just going to say, I hope you're all good and are up to date on the content strategy stuff that we've been doing on Thursdays. Because what you've just been talking about there is going to be addressed it's going to come out of the marketing framework that we're all about to build. I'm about to build one for Bizmerang. Particularly for recruiting Circle hosts in. But you'll see when you do that work for your own circles, and you can use the same principles for your whatever other marketing strategies that you're putting together, that part of that whole customer journey network and part of the framework is the messaging that goes into each of the areas. I won't go into too much detail now. What I'm trying to say is that come this Thursday, we're going to start on customer journey work, and that is the absolute meat and bones of a marketing strategy. So the stuff that we've been doing up to date is really interesting. It's very important. It is very good prep work. It's like building the foundations of what we're going to do to build the house that is the marketing strategy. But from this Thursday onwards, it's where it starts getting really, really interesting. And it'll be stuff that you can apply, as I say, outside of your outside of your Bizmerang circles. Sorry. And apply it all. But that, in terms of getting up to date, on the brand advocate stuff and the brand advocating and advocacy messaging, that will all come out in the customer journey, because that's where I presume that's why you're asking, is because you're talking to people about Bizmerang and they're going, oh, why should you do this or why should you do that and all that. Well, all that is going to be covered off. You're going to do the work that will identify that messaging for you, for us. So that is just a call from me saying, please get up to date before Thursday, because we're about to get into the really meaty stuff.
Sorry, can I just ask something on that? The way that you can tailor your welcome message to the new members.
Yep.
And they have the whole blurb about Mighty Networks. Would that be a good place that we actually all have a written couple of lines blurb about Bizmerang that we could have in there as well, so people understand that.
Yeah. So that part what we're going to do is we're going to do the customer journey. We'll start with the customer journey where they become aware of Bizmerang, whether it be through you or through somewhere else. And then the next stage will be when they visit the website or visit the app. And the next stage is actually when they join a circle. The next stage after that will be what happens when they join that circle. And then in each of these stages, what messaging do we want in each bit and all that sort of stuff. So all that will, when you've gone through the framework, it's quite difficult for me to explain to you now. When you've gone through the framework, you'll understand what messaging or what need they have when they become a member, and therefore what sort of messaging you need to be, and what other assets do we need to have? Yes, we probably need to have frequently asked questions. We probably need to have things like your favorite posts or whatever. But hopefully, when we work through the exercise, it'll help clarify what that new member requires, or in my case, what that new circle host requires, and then we provide it in whatever form. So, for example, I'm thinking of the process for onboarding circle hosts. It's not just about it, as this gets bigger and bigger and bigger, as it is beginning to do. It's not just about saying, oh yeah, become a circle host and we'll give you moderator status. It's actually no. So Mike's not here, but Mike's father Derek wants to do a circle on celiacs today, and it was actually actually the way to do this is I'm going to create the circle for you and I'll make you the host, and that's the process, and this is what you need to do to get that done. And so so all that messaging and what items and assets are required in each one of them, yes, it will come out of your customer journey work. Does that answer? You're looking a bit perplexed, Alison.
No, I'm okay. Sorry, I put the heat on. I'm very, very warm.
was that Alison's "I've got a roasted butt"? We'll have to remember it. I've just sat on a hot radiator. Look.
Is this post your swim in Loch Ness?
Yeah, that's why I put the heat on, because I'm just in. That's why.
Oh, that's brilliant. You do know what's going to be the Daily News headline tomorrow morning now, don't you?
And Eve, the thing you were saying about not being available all the time, I actually think in my welcome guide that I put that into mine, that everybody had different rhythms, and I am not at all a nighttime person, so I won't be answering people at nighttime.
Well, actually,
something along those lines.
When Guy was talking about customer journey and how all this will be consistent, I mean, I really do want to learn how to do that, but mostly I'd like to just rip off your welcome page, because that on the sanity circle, that's exactly what it should look like, and it was fabulous.
But you know what why that is? It's a template. I discovered 2 hours after trying to write my own, because I saw Mike's and thought that's fantastic, and then I actually realized it was a template.
See, there is a reason why we've gone with Mighty Networks, and that's one of them.
Oh God, yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
So where did you find the template?
It's something I'll try to share it with you, but when you set up your circle and you want to invite new members in, there's something about the welcome message, and then it actually has a template.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
It's not only as a template, it's a default as well.
Yeah.
So you don't even have to copy and paste it or select it. It's just there. That's it.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. But you can change it. You can personalize it.
Change it, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I would suggest for the time being, just keep the template until you've done the customer journey work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any more on those? No? Okay. I think the last thing from me is I wonder if you guys could do me a favor and start noting down what your favorite posts are, because I would like to once a day do a featured post from each of you at some point.
Okay.
Or and it doesn't have to be your favorite post as in your one that you created, just the favorite post that's going on in your circle. Yeah, that you think might be interesting to anybody else or the main network or whatever it may be. Okay, so we'll probably won't be this week. It'll probably be next week when we start it, but that would be really nice and useful.
Do you have a way statistically to see what posts got the most attention?
Yes, there is quite a comprehensive analytics package, which I have done some work with, but I haven't really got into it big time yet. But I see that as training for you guys in sort of phase 2. Once we have you all in and working and we've got members in there, the analytics package again is going to be very, very important for us in the longer term, so that we can understand what works for our circles and what doesn't.
I had some feedback tonight from 2 different people about landing in but not knowing what to do. And unfortunately, they didn't bring that up in the circle.
Okay.
And so, yeah, that just as feedback. I know what I'm inviting them to do. Tell us about yourselves so we can start engaging.
Yeah.
But
is this when they land into the Bizmerang network, it's not into your circle, they don't know what to do? Yeah, no, I think we need to, because I can understand that you come and you just see a blank page, you don't really know what the purpose is.
Yeah, here, don't worry.
Yep. I think we're going to have to, I suppose, put more content into the network to be able to explain to members when they come in.
Well, part of it is the the stuff that we were talking about, Shane, on the Keto Quest stuff. Where there is a user start guide straight off the top that people can look at straight away. It'd be a feature post in the main thing, and absolutely no problems at all if you want to either adapt it or when we've done it, or just copy it into your circle and have it as a feature post within the circle. That's absolutely fine. No, sorry, Eve, it's of no surprise to me. We're still in beta. There's a couple of other things ahead of the queue for what's filling my day at the moment for Mighty Networks. Oh, sorry, I keep doing it on Bizmerang, and we will get to it. We will get to it because again, I know when we do our customer journey work, it will come out that's the first thing that they have when they first join a circle. Okay. Any more?
I have a question.
Yes.
If it's already been answered, not to worry. But sometimes when I go in and I share a post,
yep,
and the little heart goes blue, then when I go back in again, the little heart hasn't stayed blue.
Oh dear.
And so I'm wondering, do I cheer it again, or am I cheering it from outside my circle and from inside my circle, or anybody else has experienced that?
Have you cheered it in the app on your phone and then gone to your desktop and seen it not there yet?
No, it's all on the phone. It's all on my phone. So for instance, I might, as I'm just looking at the general feed, I might think, oh, that's really cool, and I'll cheer it. And then when I go back in,
I have no idea.
No,
Sorry.
okay.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
Any more? No? How are we all feeling so far? Are we feeling comfortable? Oh, actually, I know what I meant to ask. How are we doing on recruiting getting our own members into our beta members into our circles? Karen, how are you getting on?
I haven't got mine in yet.
Bad girl.
I know, I'm still playing a bit of catch up.
That's okay.
I still need to before I invite them in, I want to get some content. I've got my circle set up, but I've no content on it yet.
No content.
But that makes perfect sense, yeah.
No, as well, you're 10 days behind the rest of us.
Yeah.
I found the people that I had preliminarily discussed it with by phone or in a LinkedIn or an email message, the acceptance rate was wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
The few people that I invited from within the app, so that I don't know what that looks like when they're getting it, I didn't have the same response level. So I would just encourage you all to make that phone call or send a LinkedIn message or something explanatory to say, oh, and by the way, this will be coming if you're up for it.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Again, this is all good for the customer journey work later on in the line. Alison, how about you? Have you found any problems or
No, I've been okay so far. I have invited about 8 people in.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my friends actually on Saturday, I actually sat with her. So she was beside me and I invited her to see what it actually looked like.
Oh, good. What does it look like?
It's okay. No, it's okay. Yeah. And you just get a link and then it's really easy to sign up. So that was good. But there is that bit sort of at the start you have to, because she wasn't in Bizmerang to start off with, to explain to people what Bizmerang is and what Mighty Networks is. So there is that bit of work to do with that as well. Yeah,
no, again, that's all to be expected. And this is why we're doing very slow, soft launch, so we're all really comfortable that we know how to do it. That's great.
I think having that, maybe not a follow-up, but the contact with the prospective member before you send the invitation is vital, because I know over the years I've received invitations for this, all sorts of random social media platforms, whatever, and most of the time you just think, oh, it's just some automatic thing, or you don't really think the person that maybe sent it to all their contacts or something like that. So I think when it's personal, when you personally ring the person or personally email them, message them personally, then it's going to increase that conversion rate a lot more than them getting the Mighty Networks invitation email or whatever it is.
I think also it'll improve the engagement, because it is that personal connection between us. And again, this is part of why we fell upon, or we worked out the structure of working through circle hosts, circle leaders, specifically that it would be a personal thing that people were buying into, literally. They're buying into the circles that you guys have created, and you are the hosts. You don't usually go to, unless you're a teenager crashing a free house, you don't go to a party where you don't usually know the hosts. So I think it is that personal interaction is very important. Okay, any more? Who else have we got on here? I think it's Johnny. You still here?
Yes, mate. Yes.
Good.
Stuff.
Have you anything you want to add?
Not really, mate. I threw myself into it when you first launched it, and I've just let it sit the last couple of weeks and haven't done a lot about it, but it's part of the plan. Yeah,
okay. I'd strongly recommend that you look at the Thursday recordings, and I think you'll find that really useful. The stuff in there really useful for the stuff that you're doing outside Bizmerang as well, particularly, as I was saying earlier on, what starts on this Thursday. Okay.
All right. Cheers. Thanks.
I've one more question.
Yeah, we're here. We can be here as long as we need to be.
Okay. When it comes to, so I've also set up my other circle, but I haven't invited anybody to it because it's quite easy to test what posts will look like on that.
Yeah.
So am I right in saying that some of you are able to, you're posting, whenever I receive it, the text is there and then there's a photograph, or there's a photograph and then the text. Whereas every time I'm posting a photograph and text, the text is going on top of the photograph and it looks a little bit cluttered, and then I have to press.
When you add the photograph, it uploads it and then it gives you a bar underneath where you select how you want the photograph to appear. So I know it doesn't do that in quick. Don't think it does. It doesn't do it in quick post, but when you do it in all the other ones, such as an article or stuff like that, it gives you a little bar underneath, and you can select whether you want the photograph to be left and the text to the right of it, and all that sort of stuff. Can I suggest try playing with it on your desktop first?
Okay.
So rather than doing it on your phone, sign in with it on your desktop, and you can use your mouse on it as well. The same functionality is there on the app, but it's when you're doing just a quick post, I think that it doesn't give you that functionality.
Okay, good point. Good point. Because I'm using my phone for everything so far.
Yeah.
But are you suggesting that when I post content?
No, I'm saying just try it on your post. So when you post something, you select, you add, you go to your circle or whatever, and then you press you click on the cross to add a new post or whatever it may be, and it gives you the option to do a quick post or an article or whatever.
Yes.
Try doing it with the article, for example, and you'll find. I think you'll find it will give you this this bar. It's only a quick. What I find is that the quick post functionality is literally a quick post. So I'm not trying to make it look good or anything like that. It just works on the defaults.
Okay, super.
Okay,
super.
I think.
Thanks, Guy.
That just reminds me as well, there's no way to schedule a post, is there?
There will be when you're a host in your circle.
Okay.
Okay, that's one of the things that comes with being a host, is that you can schedule going forward. So yeah, so we will. I'm going to start working my way through it tomorrow and change you all from from moderator to host. So you might get an email from me saying, please just tell me which circles you really want to work on, because there's a lot of stuff in there that's not done. Okay.
And I am thinking about taking a circle and changing it into a course, and I'll rename the circle. I deleted the one that's not being used.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I had to ask. I wasn't going far enough down. You can delete a circle, but you have to go way down through the...
if you've created it, yes.
Yeah. I'm still struggling with what goes in a circle and what might be better in a post. So I'm not in a circle and a course.
Or in a course.
So really, as people it's just going to take time to see what people do or how it goes up there and how it looks.
For me, that's not really a difficult question. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying, for me, if you've got a course, for me is something where you've got multiple pieces of content that's largely going to be one-way traffic, then I put it in a course. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's just that as few people as we are at this point, I can't tell or see what the levels of engagement are. And so that's really, I probably have to give it more time.
Yeah, no,
I have to give it more time.
I agree. Okay, yes, yeah, we're in trial and error at this stage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Any more?
Oh, topics. Like if I were to go back and look for the daily news as the feed gets bigger or there's more activity.
Yeah.
What topic would I look for that under?
Good plan. I will create a daily news topic. Okay. And that was but it'll be in the circle leader circle, which I haven't.
Circle. Yeah.
Okay. But I'll create it as a topic. Has anybody any other ideas of searchable topics that they'd like to have, either in the main feed or within the circle leader circle, the CLC? If you do, just drop me a message.
For me, it was more about when people land and they see their options, to be able to click on something and get an idea of who else is here.
If they're in the circle, just straight to members.
But will there not be people coming into Bizmerang without necessarily having been invited into a circle?
Yeah, yes, they will, but that will be in the main feed. So on your homepage, and yes, no. What you can do is into members there, and when you click on members, it gives you the options of the latest ones there, ones near you.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But then also, once you're in a circle, when you click the members tab, and when you're in a circle, it just shows you the members in that circle.
So I'm thinking in terms of the fact that, let's say when it gets opened up to the Facebook group.
Yeah.
And they land on Bizmerang.
Yep.
Right now they see marketing mindset. I don't remember what the other ones are. But if they were to click on one of those, they would see the feed that is in those topics. Yes. They would see the articles that have been posted.
Posts and articles that are in that topic. Yes.
Right. And so I guess what I was looking for on that page was a not lengthy list, but a kind of rich list that would invite people to explore what was there.
So maybe we create a a topic or topic tags that are specifically circles. So you'd have, when you're searching, you click on topic. I'm searching for circles, and then whatever other tags we go, or topic tags that would go with that as well. Okay, because when you're searching, when you use the filters, they're positive filters. They don't filter things. They if you search for let me just, where's my phone? When you apply a filter in the app, let me just go back. Home. Okay, so when you apply a filter, you can say filter by everything, your activity from your hosts near you, marketing strategy, quick posts, etc. Those are positive filters, so it pulls out those rather than suppressing those. If you understand that they're positive filters rather than negative filters. Okay. So let me have a think about how we might set up the topics and topic tags so people could find it easy to find those circles by those tags. Yeah, okay. Topic tags on new circles. And then what you would do is you would create a post for a new circle that describes, that would only come up when that tag is there. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, I hope.
And I assume that when I hashtag something within a circle, that's only searchable if it's a public circle.
Yeah.
Is that searchable more widely around the Bizmerang group, or just in that circle?
If it's a private circle, it'll just be, so there's three privacy settings. Right. There's public, private, and secret. Mm-hmm. So if it's a public circle, I would suspect it does get shared around it. If it's a private circle, I would suspect it doesn't, and certainly not with the secret one. Okay.
So I was thinking of it in terms of visibility. Yeah. For your individual circles.
Yeah. So if somebody's a member of if they're a member of one of your circles, okay, mm-hmm. it will automatically appear in their feed, their main feed, their home feed. Okay. So again, this is why we're asking members to only join 2 or 3 circles, because, and why we just want to put really good quality content in those circles, because otherwise you'll fill up members' feeds with lots of other stuff. So so if you are doing one piece of content a day, or even 1 or 2 bits of content a week, but the other members of your circles are each doing 1 or 2 pieces and responding and all that sort of stuff, that very quickly builds up to 10 pieces of content from one circle in a day. If you remember 3 circles, that's 30 pieces of content. Okay, a piece of content being anything from an article to a quick post to a cheer or whatever it may be. So I think the point I'm trying to make is I don't know what the point of.
Well, so for me, it was less about the actual post being seen, mm-hmm. but for instance, on Twitter, if I'm looking for someone to follow on a particular topic, I was looking up stuff on intergenerational trauma this weekend, and I could put in a couple of different hashtags. And find out what was out there. And that really was my question. If I have a public group and I have hashtag recovery, if somebody's coming into the wider Bizmerang group and they search a hashtag, are the circle hashtags seen by people outside the circle, or just in the circle?
I don't know that, but that's my point of what I was saying about beforehand, is that you would create an introductory post to your circle that goes in the main feed. And you would tag it with with the topics that are specific to that. So when they search for recovery, that in fact your circle introductory post to your circle would automatically appear there, saying, "Oh, there's a circle that does this, 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 and this."
Got it. That's
my thinking behind it. But I'm open to many, many ideas. Honest engine. Okay, next one. Nope, all good. Okay, Shane, have you got anything else?
No, I think that's it. That's all covered.
Cool. Oh, well, we've been quite a long one this evening. Yeah, so we're 45, 50 minutes. All right. Normal story. It'll recording, hopefully, the bits that actually was recorded on my hard drive when I didn't format will be in the daily news section, particularly about Alison's hot bum.
Great.
And I will just say one more time, if you can get up to date on the content stuff, the Thursday content stuff, you'll really benefit from what we're doing on Thursday, or what we're going to go from Thursday, because Thursday is when we really get into the meat and bones of it. Oh, one last quick one, just a quick plug. I am doing a talk in the Danske Bank Catalyst FinTech Hub next Tuesday morning, a business briefing, where the title of the talk is Marketing Strategy, How to Avoid Getting Blood on the Boardroom Carpet. If you're in Belfast, sorry Karen, if you're in Belfast and you want to come along, feel free. You'll probably see it out in the Facebook group at the moment, and I'll do a post on it tomorrow morning. Actually, it's filling up quite quickly, so I'll put it out this afternoon, and it's Tuesday of next week at 8:15 in the morning. So, okay, that's enough for me. Any more? One last go. All right, listen, people, thank you very much. No doubt we will talk during the week and interact. And I will see you on Thursday. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Cheerio.
Sounds
Bye.
good. Night.